Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Investigators in Clark are looking into what sparked a fire in the northern part of town over the weekend. The Clark Police Department says it happened in the 1000 block of North Commercial Street just before 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Law enforcement arriving on scene found heavy smoke and flames coming from a home.
The home is considered a total loss. Crews were on scene for around 4 hours. No injuries were reported. Authorities on the Rosebud Reservation are investigating a weekend church fire. The Parmalee Volunteer Fire Department says it happened at Holy Innocents Church early Saturday morning. Authorities shared this photo of what was left of the church. If you have any information about the fire, you're asked to contact the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Dispatch. One man is dead after a pickup and car collided in Walworth County last week. The South Dakota Department of Public Safety says it happened east of Selby just before 5:30 Thursday afternoon. A car was westbound on U.S. Highway 12 when it started to pass a semi pulling a tanker and did not see an eastbound pickup. The car and pickup collided nearly head-on. The crash closed the highway for around 4.5 hours. The 21-year-old man driving the car suffered minor injuries. The 73-year-old man driving the pickup was pronounced dead at the scene. South Dakota's Highway Patrol is investigating the crash. Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. A cool and breezy start to the week, Scott.
Oh, it looks like it'll be downright cold for some of us. Temperatures today in the 40s for highs, even colder for tomorrow. We'll have to watch those wind chills as well as we hit the afternoon hours and evening hours for the trick-or-treaters tomorrow. Wind chills may only be in the teens. Temperatures in the meantime today will hit the 40s. We're looking at the cold air for tomorrow, but the warming trend will start after tomorrow on Wednesday. We'll see how long that lasts as we go through the later part of the work week. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. According to the FBI's 2022 crime report, most of the violent crimes in South Dakota happen in a home and are committed by someone the victim knows. Of the nearly 3,300 violent crimes that happened in 2022, just over 1,800 happened in a home. At least in 1,100 incidents, the victim was a girlfriend, boyfriend, or an acquaintance. Another 331 were committed by someone who is otherwise known to the offender. 399 were committed by a stranger to the victim. Ray Yost takes a closer look at the violent crime numbers in South Dakota with this KELOLAND.com original on our website now. The Union Gospel Mission hosts more than 120 residents in their men's and women's shelter. And as the temperature continues to drop, that number is expected to increase. Every day, UGM serves more than 200 people 3 times a day for meals. Over the weekend, that number increased due to the first snow in Sioux Falls. Those with the shelter say they could use more winter supplies to serve the increasing number of guests.
We are in desperate need of winter clothing, so coats, jackets, snow pants, even for kids. We can always use more of that. As far as food is concerned, anything and everything would be a wonderful blessing to us.
KELOLAND's Renee Ortiz spoke with a resident who knows what it's like to be outside when it's cold. You can hear from him with this story on KELOLAND.com. A nonprofit in Sioux Falls is doing its part to aid families that have children in foster care with the goal of reuniting the family. The court-appointed Special Advocates Group, also known as CASA, works with Children Protection Services to be a voice for families. Volunteers form a connection with the family to try and get a clear understanding of the family's situation.
We say that we're the eyes and ears for the judge because she can't possibly do all the legwork involved with the number of cases that come through on a regular basis.
For more information or to volunteer, there's a link to the CASA website on KELOLAND.com.
Well, that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, starting off chilly this morning, but we are expecting another surge of cold coming into the forecast later today and tonight. You can see our cold front here midday hour just on the North Dakota-South Dakota border. Now, that front will switch the wind around to the northwest, and as that happens, well, then the temperatures start to go in reverse in the other direction. So Aberdeen and Mobridge and Sisseton will be clearly on that track. There's also a little bit of snow attached to that low-pressure area over north-central Minnesota. Most of that will stay out of our region, but I would say for Sioux Falls, plan on an abrupt change in the weather here this evening as gusty northwest winds will become the story, 20 to 40, probably a few gusts, even a little more than that. And of course, with all of that, attached to it is the colder weather. We'll be dealing with some wind chill values, both above and below zero tomorrow morning across KETHLAND. I do expect air temperatures, probably a mixed bag of upper teens and low 20s. Now, the wind should calm down tomorrow afternoon across the vast majority of the area. So I know it's kind of cold, chilly, if you will, but temperatures 33 Sioux Falls and then dropping into the 20s, I'm sure, during trick-or-treat time. And then as we get into Wednesday, well, we'll start to rebound a little bit here in that forecast. Here's a closer look at the wind speeds this afternoon at 2 o'clock. At that point, we're out of the southwest in Sioux Falls, 15 to 30. But see the red, the orange, a lot more momentum behind the wind. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock as that pushes through much of KETHLAND from Rapid City all the way to Sioux Falls by mid to late evening. So that's how that system's going to roll through. And then once we get through this little spell of colder weather, it will turn warmer by the end of the week. And when we say warmer, let's aim for some 50s. That sounds a little better. 43 today, Sioux Falls with the wind, 44 in Mitchell. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast and temperatures at 49 on Thursday, close to 50, and then into the 50s as we wrap up the week. We'll continue to monitor that. There's some potential there to raise the numbers just a little bit more, but we'll continue to just watch and see how that pattern unfolds. Also, I do want to mention on Friday, there will be a few showers possible in eastern KETHLAND. At this time, we've kept that in the Aberdeen forecast. We'll continue to see if that shifts a little bit to the south as well for Sioux Falls. Pierre and central KETHLAND, mainly dry, but the 50s will feel better at the end of the week, and overnight lows will come back to the 30s. And I do expect Rapid City, as we're more connected to that Pacific air coming across the Rockies, we should be in the 50s for several days, and noting just a 20% chance of a shower Friday. All the details with your weather online at KETHLAND.com.